Well, I'll tell you one thing we ain't doing. We ain't coming in this thing with a bop.
Bop, I bopped in our damn head. That's the only bop we got tonight.
Oh, the Cowboys got bopped upside their head. Welcome to Game Day Live post-game show. Jesse Holley, Skywalker Still. Cowboys, use the word lose, would be doing the game no justice here. 19-3, they take the L, multiple L's, and we'll get to that here. You go into the game and you say, hey, man, your defense is only going to give up 19 points. You feel good. Not tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The Cowboys offense absolutely stunk for 4 quarters. Just everything about it, from top to bottom, Jesse. It was a stinker, man. Cowboys lose 19-3, start the season 0-1. I have a silver lining at the end of all this, but I don't know if there might be a rusty line.
What is your – no, let's get to – no. Please, we need silver lining at the top.
Maybe you need a silver lining at the top. Here's the silver lining. The Cowboys have made the playoffs the last, 5 times they started 0-1. That's all I got for you. That's it. That's all I got. Other than that, we didn't have a game tonight, and it didn't look great, man. It didn't look great at all. But kind of general thoughts before we go down this individually here of your kind of thoughts of the game.
Yeah, this was
ugly.
It was ugly. I should say this.
Not a good ugly.
I should say it was ugly offensively.
Yeah.
And here's what I wrote down in my notes. I wrote my notes on a napkin.
Yeah, he really was all night.
I wrote my notes on a napkin, but it all works. They don't deserve paper. I'm gonna use napkins, and we're gonna recycle it. It's reduce, reuse, and recycle. I put defense is good, but the defense is not a marathon runner. Body blows by number 7, Leonard Fournette.
Shout out to Lenny. I doubted Lenny, and he had 127 yards, man.
Long drives, deep waters. 9 plays, 79 yards, 4 minutes and 55 seconds. That was the touchdown drive that they had. I don't care how good your defense is, and that's 85 Bears. That's 2,000 Ravens.
2,002 Bucks. LOB.
When you play are on the field for a majority of the game, and you don't get field position flipped, you don't get points at like even the Ravens, the 2,000 Ravens, right?
Yeah.
They would just tell them hey, get us 14 to 17 points. If you do that, then we can rock with that. Right. You give us an opportunity to get some rest, a breath, a breather. You give us some field position. You cannot keep your defense on the field this long. When I say deep waters is the longer you go into these games, and they found a running game, so you're taking these body blows throughout the entire game from Leonard Fournette. It is body blows. And what people don't understand is in the game of football is every time you have to go and tackle a dude who's 4, 5, 6, 7 yards down the field and he's 240 pounds, that weighs on you. Because all the other plays, when you're not tackling him, you're shedding the block of another 300-pound dude. And when you're doing that for extended periods of time, it just begins to wear on you.
Sure.
And when you do it for a quarter and 2 quarters, and then you're looking around and you're saying, it was the one time Michael came off the field and he's looking at the offense let's go. Give us something so that we can take a breath. Give us something that gives us some energy, some emotion, something that takes the pressure off us having to be perfect. Because it's so hard to be perfect defensively.
Never will be.
And when your offense is giving you nothing, and that's what I put about the defense is good, but they're not marathon runners. You can't have them out there for that long period of time.
Well, even with all those body blows, they gave up 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
1. Again, if you come into this game and tell me Tom Brady's going to score 1 touchdown, they're only going to have 19 points, I feel good about it. But the problem was your offense gave you nothing.
Right.
Which we understood it wasn't going to be like last year. We've been saying that all offseason. Hey, y'all, this offense is going to look different. Okay? Prepare for it to look different. But you can't have that, right? You cannot have everything that all the fears, all the concerns that you would have offensively came into fruition today. They did. Penalties, 10 total. 10 total penalties. Same thing carrying over from last year.
Put it on the loop.
Put it on. That's about to be a new thing.
Put it on the loop.
Put it on the loop. We feared the wide receiver room. Passing offense stunk. We feared Dak Prescott would not be able to just lift up a bunch of no-name nobodies, and he couldn't. He couldn't lift his own damn self up today. He stunk. We feared, well, I didn't fear, but a lot of people, because I'm going to give credit to a lot of other people, feared that, hey, CeeDee Lamb, can he be number one wide receiver? Not the case tonight, right? All those fears came into play. They turned into a nightmare, and it was a nightmarish performance by the offense. And it's really hard for me to get on the defense. They got the turnover to try to give you some type of life. They gave up one touchdown drive that took a one-handed kind of nice little veteran move, touchdown by Mike Evans, which salute to Mike Evans, but you just cannot do that offense. You can't do it at all, man. But again, this is the post-game show presented by Callahan Motor Company. Callahan Motor Company is the finest, most qualified, quality-oriented pre-owned dealership in the DFW area. If I can get this up here. There we go. From sales to trade-ins to finance, you can count on Callahan Motor Company with over 150 vehicles regularly in stock from over 25 different brands. Callahan Motor Company has the perfect car for you. Drop by the dealership in Keller, Texas, or visit CallahanMotorCompany.com to find your ride today. Well, it's going to be no smooth ride for the Cowboys tonight, I'll tell you that.
It's not going to be a smooth ride. I mean, you got the Cincinnati Bengals coming in next week, and they're high-powered offense, and so you got to go out there. You got to go out there again and try to figure out a way to stop and slow down Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Boyd and Mixon and Joe Burrow.
But again, defensively, I feel like they can keep. You know what's so funny?
And I don't mean to cut you off, but as I was looking, and as Mike McCarthy is walking off the field, he comes to meet with Britt Brown. Britt Brown is the head rehab trainer.
Which we didn't even get to that storyline.
Right,
yet.
like he's the head, and we buried that one. We buried that one, but the play. But as he was walking off the field, Britt Brown, who is the head rehabilitation trainer, walked up him and said something to him, and I don't know what he said, but the reaction of Mike McCarthy was like, God, like one of those.
So let's go ahead, because we definitely buried that story. Apologies, Cowboys Nation. But towards the end of the game in the fourth quarter, around 6-minute mark or something like that, Dak Prescott, 7-minute mark, Dak Prescott makes a pass attempt. Devin White, somebody hit his hands, and he was doing all this motion with his hands, and he had to come out the game, went to the locker room, and maybe our fears.
A broken thumb.
More. It could
maybe.
Be broken.
And we don't know. We don't know, but we saw them working on the thumb area from the shots in the game. And
to add on to it, right? The fear of the penalties, the fear of the offensive weapons from the receiver standpoint, the fear of CeeDee Lamb having to carry that mantle, and then Dak Prescott injury. Everything just was put on a fear platter that turned into a nightmare tonight. Well, and if it's broken, we're talking 2 months.
At least.
Turn out the lights. Light a candle. Turn them off.
Turn them off. When Teddy P tell you to turn them off. Tell you, what's up, my brother? What's going on, man?
You know what I'm saying?
But, and you know what? Nobody, like the front office has to sit on this one.
100%.
Like the front office has to sit on this one.
They're going to catch their licks. Trust and believe me.
Because you put this team together. You put this team together, and we don't know the extent of Dak's injury, and it could have happened on any given play, but you put a subpar offensive line out there, and you basically hope for the best.
I personally think the offensive line is better than the receiving group was. Think about that for a second. You 4th and 2, game on the line. You want the Dennis Houston, undrafted free agent wide receiver. Dennis Houston.
But everybody was talking about how great he was in training camp.
I've been telling people for weeks.
Everybody's been saying how great Dennis Houston was, and
he wasn't. He was not great in training camp. He was just there in training camp, and I guess where he was supposed to be. I've been trying to say it forever. One-on-ones, everything looks great. But when the team was doing their passing offense, nothing. I came away from those passing drills or passing segments and saying, damn, this passing offense looks good. I came away like, boy, they better hope Michael Gallup can get back soon. But guess what? I don't know if Michael Gallup can save that. And now it comes back to the two dudes who are going to have to really hold this together. Kellen Moore, Dak Prescott. And I don't think either of those two guys had a particularly great game today. So.
Well, we still have to wait and see what the injury is on Dak Prescott. And if we let Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones tell us, they'll tell us he just has a hangnail.
Yeah.
They'll say, oh, well, he just has a hangnail and he'll be back. And then we'll find out Wednesday or Thursday. And when they have to report it, they'll say, oh, Dak's out for 4 to 6 weeks with something. So I pray it's something where it's just a sprain or it's something that he can tape up and shoot up and go. It's on his throwing hand, so that makes it even more difficult trying to grip. And again, still trying to protect himself behind that offensive line. What is it for another hit to happen? And
by the way, I'll talk about this tomorrow. Not a good night for people I've endorsed. I've endorsed TP. Bull gave up about 3 big hits from the running back spot. 2 sacks, I think it was, and another big hit. My cousin, man. You can't have 3 penalties in one series. What are you doing, cuz? 3 penalties in one series. He back to being my third cousin.
Yep.
I mean, we'll look at the tape in regards to the rookie, but I didn't really think it was too bad on him, except for he also had a miscue where it was communication issue, gave up a sack and had a full start. But again, once the tape come out, we'll look at the offensive line. But I don't even know if it was a crazy bad offensive line day or not. The whole game goes by in a blur.
And let me say this, because I always have to make this is completely side note from what you're saying.
Sure.
I always have to preface this. This is a PSA. Please give us some grace. Understand what our job is to watch the game. And then immediately after the game goes off, we're here. So we haven't had a chance for rewind buttons. We haven't had a chance to review the film. We're going by the things that we've seen, notes that we've written down, the discussions that we've had throughout the game. And so we're giving it to you literally as the game goes off. Will is pressing play for us to go live. So we haven't had a chance to fully rewatch the game to really see if something that we said was right or wrong or whatever. We're giving you right off the cuff. So please. Always be able to cut us a tiny bit of grace. We're not asking for a lot of grace. Just a little bit of grace so that the things that we say, we try to be as accurate as possible with our descriptions. But sometimes when we go back and we look at it, when we go back and look at it, we might say something different on one of our shows tomorrow that we said tonight. Okay.
No, that's fair. That's a fair point. And we always try to tell them that every game, right? So I'm hoping they have an understanding of that now. But if you're new here, I hope that you completely understand that. Is there an issue with our sound? Everybody can hear? Are we good? Somebody said look at the chat. During the game, pre-post halftime, we don't really communicate with the chat. We appreciate y'all being here. I love y'all to death, but we gotta get our thoughts out and get it out here and get in and out. Tomorrow though, we'll be live, A to Z Sports Live morning show. So make sure y'all check me out in the morning. And he'll be live, hanging with the boys throughout the week. So alive throughout the week, where we can be more involved with y'all. But from a defensive standpoint, I know we kind of went in on the offense. Was there anything else kind of defensively that might have made you say, besides the run defense?
Hell yeah,
really
the run defense.
The run defense was the main one to me.
Leonard Fournette had 127 yards in the game, 21 carries, 6 yards a pop. Like, to me, that goes back to the same thing. And one of the things that we talked about in the pregame show was Osa, Tristan, Neville. Who else is there?
Chauncey goes in.
Like all those guys in that middle is the thing that we see. Micah can do what Micah does if he keeps guys off of him. And if they're being able to recreate the line of scrimmage and create running lanes and so on and so forth, then you're in for a long day. You're in for an extremely long day.
So, yeah, we got the update here. He's going to need surgery. Dak Prescott, broken finger. Well, it doesn't really say. It says breaking. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott needs surgery for an injury in joint above thumb of right hand.
Okay.
So, kind of what we were talking about, Nick. A couple months is going to look like to me. Probably about 6 to 8. So there it is. I mean, yeah.
Well,
I mean, you want to talk about adding injury to insult.
At least they were honest. Thank you, Jerry Jones, for coming out and being honest with us from the rip. He needs surgery in the ligament right above his thumb, so he'll be out for, what, 2 months?
Well, I'm going to keep refreshing Twitter here to see if we can get some more updates. But right now, the latest is just that Jerry said he's going to be out for a while. He needs surgery.
Or miss several weeks. Depending on what it is, we're talking about, 4 to 8 weeks. So
that's
2 months.
That's what's in 2 months. 2 months being about a broken hand.
2 months being the absolute worst, and maybe
unbelievable
3 to 4 weeks being the least. So that's the breaking news. Dak Prescott will be out for several weeks with surgery on his thumb. That sucks. That sucks on so many levels for me when it comes to Dak Prescott. I think he's one of the most mentally tough human beings in the world, and this might become too soon type of information, like too soon the thing to say, but I'm gonna say it. Dak Prescott may be becoming one of those kind of things where he's injury prone.
He's literally, like, this is scary. He's literally now Tony Romo.
Like, literally, he's becoming to the point where his health is now another thing that we'll have to put into question.
It's Tony.
It's an ankle. It's a shoulder. It's a calf.
21, 22. This is the 4th year in a row.
Yeah.
It started in 2019, and that's one other thing I said. Like, this year had to be a year of clean bill of health so he can get back that tank mentality from fans. That tank mentality went away in 2019 where he fell on his shoulder against the Rams. It was all funky, didn't practice against the Eagles, and he came out and didn't have a great game.
Right.
Came out, and then they said, yeah, his shoulder was messed up. Next year, we understand what happened with the ankle. Next year, you had the calf and you had the shoulder. Now this year, you have a broken hand. And a lot of it is certain things you just, you can't help, but it happens.
Right.
Like with Tony, you can't help somebody fall on your collarbone. You can't help somebody breaks your back.
Right.
But it keeps happening. So now he has to be put in that category.
Yeah, and I don't want to be insensitive. I don't want to be like, damn, Jess, it just happened. Give the man, you asked for grace, give him some grace. What's up, brother? But it's in the same respect of, like, we got to call it the way we see it.
Call it how we see it.
And like you said, that's 4 years in a row. We're talking about a major significant injury that's going to take him out for a significant amount of time.
Significant. So you have to prepare now, right? Like, you have to go into each season like, hey, something may happen here. We need to be prepared behind the scenes. And I saw the Saints do that with Teddy Bridgewater, Jameis Winston, and things like that. Dallas said, we're going to bring back Cooper Rush. Do we think Cooper Rush is going to? I don't believe in that.
I mean, and it makes it very difficult to even build a team when you have to keep building your team and allocating resources to not just a backup, but potentially a backup that can serve as a starter for a long period of time, whether that be at your left tackle position, whether that be at your quarterback position, or whatever the injuries may count, total up to be.
Yeah.
That's a tough way to do business from a front office perspective, trying to build a team with the mindset of, I may have to spend extra to get a bunch of backup dudes because the guys that we have as starters are potentially.
And they don't even do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? They don't even do that for the starters.
Yeah.
So now, yeah, this is. Listen, you can take a L, a bad loss, and be done with it and move on. But this, on top of it, this is terrible. This is terrible news for the Dallas Cowboys moving forward for 2022. And if you're Mike McCarthy, you have to be sitting here like, you got to be kidding me.
If you're Mike McCarthy, you start calling your real estate agent.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. If you're Mike McCarthy at this point in time, start calling your real estate agent and just get ahead of this thing. Like, get ahead of this thing. Don't wait to January. Start calling your real estate agent, getting feelers about what it's going to cost for you to move your family back to Wisconsin, or what it's going to cost for you to sell this crib in Dallas, because you've already started this year as a lame duck, as a sitting duck, and now you're going to not have your quarterback for potentially the next 5 or 6 games. And when you look at the schedule, who they play the next 5 couple of games, Cincinnati they're going to play. You got 3 of the next 6 games you have NFC East opponents.
This was the part of the schedule you needed to come out with at least 500.
Right.
Because it gets quote unquote easier. I hate that. I tried not to do that, but when all we have is a schedule, you look at it. The rest of the schedule was like, all right, you could think you can win these games, but Bucks.
So you got the
Philly,
Bengals,
Rams.
You got the Bengals next week. You got at New York. You come back home to Washington. You go to the Rams and to Philadelphia.
You will not be favored in. Keep going. You might not be favored.
Maybe
until Chicago. Maybe.
Depends.
You're not going to be favored in any of these.
Depends if you
games.
get Dak back by then. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So you may be getting Dak back at that point in time around Halloween. Maybe.
I don't know how the severity of it. We just know he's going to be out for some weeks with Jerry Jones. According to Twitter, is what Jerry Jones said. So the hill that they had to climb anyway was a pretty steep one because I think Cowboys made it that way.
Yeah.
But now without Dak Prescott, it just feels.
It becomes impossible.
It feels that way. There's always that very sliver of whatever hope you have to have in that locker room as a player. But then there's reality, man. There's reality. This sucks for Cowboys Nation and for the Cowboys in general.
Yeah, and this is a league of talent. And to get to the National Football League, all these guys are talent, but it's levels to this, right? And I was fortunate enough to play in the league for a couple years, and one of the things why I did not play for a long time, my talent wasn't elite. I had good enough talent to get there and to stick around for a little bit, but there's levels to this talent situation.
Tell the Joneses that.
And when you're trying to put teams together that's going to be competitive, you're going to need extremely talented players. And I don't mean just like you can't march out guys who will normally be 4th and 5th wide receivers
and just
as
bank
2nd and 3rd. You just can't.
Banking on them. My whole issue with the thought process of, hey man, we got these guys that've been around. They're going to elevate the level of play. Well, if that's the thought process, the rest of the league has that same thought process, and they're adding guys on top of it, right?
It doesn't.
So you never are catching up. But that's a whole other discussion, man. That's a whole entirely different discussion. One more tidbit here from this game before we get out of here was the turf tough matchup that we had presented over on our socials. It was Mike Evans versus the Trayvon Diggs, and the turf tough matchup was presented by DFW Turf. I always say here, man, do you know what's worse than a Cowboys loss? Which is hard to really say right at this point. Spending hours every week mowing your lawn and spending thousands of dollars every year on lawn maintenance just to have a yard that dies during the summer and gets muddy when it rains. Well, thanks to DFW Turf Solutions, your perfect lawn is only a call away. DFW Turf Solutions is the #1 artificial grass company in the DFW area. They install only the highest quality residential turf at your home and give you the yard of your dreams. So visit DFW Turf today. DFWturf.com today. Man, this news got me all up in mine. Yeah. But anyway, the turf tough matchup, Mike Evans versus Trayvon Diggs, was a pretty solid matchup until he scored that touchdown.
Yeah.
And I would say that one goes to Mike Evans tonight. He gets the W tonight. 5 receptions, 71 yards, 1 touchdown on 7 targets. Tom Brady wasn't magnificent. He was 18 for 27, 212 yards, a touchdown in that pick. But again, all it took was 1.
Yeah.
They didn't even take that. It just took 2 field goals. But all it took was really 1 touchdown to put it out of the realm of possibility for the
And that's the thing with Tom. Tom is like, listen, I'll take whatever you give me. And I'll make profit with that. Yeah. Some quarterbacks will go out there and say, nah, I got to hit the home run. I want the knockout blow. And Tom will just go, I'll kill you by 1,000 cuts. And I'll just methodically, slowly wear you down because I look across the field and I say, you guys can't do anything on offense. So why would I risk the ball going into a dangerous situation when a punt in this situation is just as good? because you've done nothing offensively. Our defense has stepped up. You're out of sync. You're out of rhythm. We're not afraid of you.
The question that was on my notes wasn't even a question. I said this to you during the game. Tom Brady, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they know who they are.
Yes.
They know who they are. The Cowboys lack an identity. They're trying to find themselves in week 1 of the NFL season.
And when you said that to me, I looked down and I wrote this. I put number 12 makes you right even when the math is wrong.
And that's like almost a triple entendre because there is math literally to the play, right? Like who's 3 on this side against 2 and things like that. And then a whole bunch of other different things to it. But yeah, absolutely, man.
Like he makes you right even when the math is wrong.
And did you notice they never got out of what they do. From the rip, they did what they do. One of the questions I've been asking all offseason is, what do the Cowboys do? And because it's a different offensive, players, especially week 1, you really didn't know. And then because you didn't go out in the preseason and play them, which again, there's 2 sides to it. You really don't know. And now you get to week 1, and it's like, all right, time to turn it on. And again, I ask, what are the Cowboys? Well, now that Dak Prescott's out, it's going to be rough. But what is the Cowboys' identity offensively? That never got answered today. I don't know if it gets answered for another 2 months.
It hadn't got answered in a couple years.
Well, that's true, too.
We've been asking that question. We've asked that question on our show and our conversations on podcasts. We've asked that question of, what are you? Are you a running team? Are you a passing team? Like, they don't have an identity. They go out there and they try to be this multiple
no identity offense.
Right. And
take with it
as a team,
with the
they're trying to be this no identity team and trying to figure out we'll just shoot it on the run. And again, that just doesn't bode well in this league, man. You got to have an identity. You have to be really good at something. You have to train at it. You have to practice it. All the guys have to practice it, and then you have to go out there and perform it in the preseason, in practice. So all those things have to take place in order for you to be a good football team. And the Cowboys have yet to prove that they're able to do that on a week-in, week-out basis. And they'll have their runs in the season, and they'll have their 12, 13 wins in the season. And then when it gets to nut-cutting time, it comes out that what does it say? What doesn't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse, or so that will come out in the rinse, come out in the whatever that is.
Right.
And the Cowboys show who they truly are.
Well, they are behind the 8 ball, literally in the NFC East. The only NFC East team to lose in week 1.
I bet you didn't have on your bingo card that the Cowboys would be in last place after week 1 of the NFC East.
A lot of people had them losing, but the only one to lose, I don't think anybody would have foreseen that. And not only are they behind the 8 ball in the win-loss column, but they're behind the 8 ball with the quarterback now.
Yep.
They went into 2022 season by far and away, Dak Prescott, best quarterback in the division. Cooper Rush. You go from the best quarterback to the worst
quarterback
in 60 minutes. That's how fast things can change in the NFL. And hopefully next week things can change for the Cowboys' fortune moving forward. But they got a tough one ahead.
Let me ask you this question before we go. I'm just going to throw this out there, and you can mull over it and sleep on it tonight.
Sure.
You ready for this one? Jerry Jones said that he would sign any check to make his team a Super Bowl contending team.
That's a lie.
You lost your quarterback. Would you trade for Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah. I don't know if it matters.
I mean, depending upon, because what we're reading right now, we're talking about.
Damn, dude, you just threw that.
That's what I'm saying. You can sleep on the foot, but they just.
And I kind of say just right away.
We don't know what the severity of this injury is. This can be, like I said, this could be a season-ending injury depending on how damaged the ligament. Is it a ligament? Is it a bone? Is it what is it? Is it 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks?
Beautiful. There's no trade clause. I think he has a no trade clause.
Yeah, that means that means he can't trade. He can decline where he goes to get traded to.
And the contract is not that crazy. So here's the thing. I don't think Jimmy is going to save anything.
Do you think Jimmy is better than? Do you think Jimmy
better than
is
Cooper
better?
Rush?
Okay.
Here's the problem. I don't trust Kellen Moore to do what Jimmy Garoppolo is good at. And that's the stuff that Mike McDaniels was doing with him, and Kyle Shanahan was doing with him, and Bill Belichick was doing with him, and Josh McDaniels was doing with him. I don't think Jimmy, Cooper, whoever the hell gets up in here, Kellen is going to change his stripes.
If Jerry Jones is in the ticket-selling business.
I thought you was going to go somewhere else with the quarterback.
Where?
Cam.
Hell no.
I thought you was going to go Cam.
Hell no.
I thought you were going to go Cam.
Cam's terrible. I don't know why people. Cam is horrible.
That's what I thought you was going to go to.
Hell no.
Jimmy was interesting.
But if Jerry is in the ticket-selling business, you've now.
Jimmy going to sell you tickets.
What I'm saying, Jimmy still gives you hope. Jimmy still gives you hope in the ticket-selling business because I can come out and say Jimmy took the Niners to the Super Bowl.
Kyle Shanahan. Mike McDaniels.
I'm Jerry Jones. I'm selling you this dream of saying that I'm going to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, who has a history of taking his team deep in the playoffs, and he's going to come here and we're going to do what he does best, and that's going to still maybe because right now. They wouldn't do what Dak does best. So look, I had a guy text me earlier and was like, "Yo, I'm selling some tickets for the Bengals game next week." Right? He texted me this and he said in the 100 section. I said, "Okay, how much?" He said 500 a piece. Right? You can slash that price in half now. Nobody's paying $500 for a ticket next week.
You might see a lot of orange and like we did last year with the Broncos. You might see a lot of orange next week.
I'm telling you that no one's paying $500 for a ticket now.
But I don't think I'm paying $500 because you got Jimmy.
You might pay $4.
That's okay. That's fair. You paying $250 for Cooper, but I'll pay.
You paying $200 for Cooper.
I'll pay $4 for Jimmy. Listen, it's an interesting conversation because Jimmy's better than Cooper, but I don't think Jimmy's saving your season.
No, the season is over. You're trying to sell. You're trying to save ticket sales now.
If you was trying to sell tickets, you would have kept Amari Cooper. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get you. I'm with you.
You would have won and got Von Miller.
I hear you.
You would have signed Julio Jones, who, by the way, looked okay to me. God dang it. But James Washington and Dennis Houston. Let me calm down. I'll save this for tomorrow. I'm just saying Julio Jones was over there. He didn't look like he was. I haven't took him for 6 games. All right, man, let me get up out of here before I get in my bag. The frustration needs to. What was he say?
You got the motor company. Did you hit that read already?
Yeah, I did all that.
Yeah, you got all the reads.
We good to go. We good to go, man.
We paid the bills.
We good to go.
I got niggas like, pay the bills. Talk about the car company.
We need him. We need him for that.
We do need him.
Gotta keep us in check here. But hey, man, look, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow.
I thought he was having a seizure. He's over there like, I thought he was doing a Fred Sanford.
He's like, yo, we out? I'm like, yeah, we out.
Oh, we out.
Because I'm about to start snapping. So I need to calm myself down because I got to let this fester for tomorrow so I can get this out with some clear thoughts as best as I can.
We both got to host shows tomorrow with this being our lead-in. Good freaking luck.
Rough week, man. Rough week. But tune in, though.
Tune in.
Tomorrow, 8:30 a.m., A to Z Sports, Dallas on YouTube. Let them know where they can find you, Jesse.
Yeah, tune in tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Time, hanging with the boys, DallasCowboys.com, YouTube, Facebook, all the everywhere where it's located. We'll be here. We're
going to make it happen, man. But listen, y'all, love y'all for being in here.
Thank you.
I know it was a sucky game today, but it was great to be back.
Yes.
Not an ideal start.
That's the silver lining.
That is the silver lining.
That's the silver lining.
There you go.
And we're back together again.
Look, my silver lining got absolutely destroyed when we find out that Dak Prescott. But we back, man. We're going to try to make it a good time regardless of how things shake out over the next few weeks. So make sure y'all tune in with us. We appreciate y'all.
Please.
We love y'all. We out of here. See you tomorrow morning and tomorrow in the afternoon. Peace. Get in mind, man.